I like Christmas. I like taking some time off and visiting my family, but that's nice to be home. Your parents named you Winnie. That's lame. You're a loser. I'm gonna kick your ass. Like, it's nice to be home and be able to sleep in my own bed tonight instead of on the couch while visiting family for like 3.5 days. It's nice to be home and be able to get back to work on the video that I am so goddamn sick of. I am so goddamn sick of thinking about and writing about and talking about and editing about Jeffrey Epstein. And as soon as this video is done, I'm never talking about this guy. I'm probably going to end up talking about the subject again, but I don't want to. I know I'll get dragged back in, but I don't. I just want to be over. I am sick of this goddamn story. I'm sick of it. I'm halfway done. I've done good work. I think I'll get it done in time. Let me pull up my schedule. I moved some stuff around because we got some Epstein files out, but they were super comedically horribly redacted. So that means I have less to talk about when I do the segment on things I missed, and like I had a whole segment like where I set aside revelations from these newly released Epstein documents, and I don't have to do that anymore. Or I'm still gonna do it, but it's gonna have less in it because there's a lot less in it. There is a thing about an anonymous tip to the FBI in 2020 saying that in 1984 Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein murdered a baby in front of them, and I don't. Yeah, that didn't happen. I bet you anything that didn't happen. So I'm not gonna talk about it much. I've seen a lot of people like believe it completely uncritically, like, oh my god, I didn't know how monstrous Trump was. This is even worse. Well, you should know how monstrous Trump is. He's done things that are worse than this. He murdered 14 million people, like something like 5 million of them children, like ordered their deaths at the start of the year when it got USA. Like, this is. I'm not saying he won't kill a person, but like murdering babies isn't his MO, and it isn't Epstein's MO. Like, this would be the only time Epstein ever murdered someone, which is, that's a bit of a red flag. And also, 1984 is A, before Epstein started his crimes, and B, before he met Trump. So, yeah, that didn't happen. And it is annoying. Like, the left is getting less skeptical. The left is becoming more willing to believe pretty much anything if it's negative about Donald Trump. And there's a lot of real things negative about Donald Trump. See the murdering 14 million people I talked about a second ago. You should absolutely believe in those things, but you should believe in them because they got evidence and like aren't random crackpots calling the FBI to say nonsense to them. I'll just murder all these rabbits. Pin missile. Let's say that's 75 power in this. What's useful against? Sure, I'll get it. Like I saw so much stuff like about, I bet Trump faked that assassination. I bet, I think Donald Trump is exactly the type of person who would pay like a random kid who got kicked out of his shooting club for being a bad shot to shoot at him and then miss by centimeters because that would make him look good. When I think of Donald Trump, the first trait that comes to mind is that Donald Trump is suicidal. Yeah, I don't like how conspiratorial the left is becoming, and I don't like this battle that's going on for ever and ever because there's so many of them, so I turned on super speed. Yep, just keep rolling out. Well, it doesn't actually work that good, and when you have paralysis and can't fucking hit for shit. But yeah, things are going good on that video. I should by the end of New Year's, I should have have like a few more minutes. I'm gonna try and get it done tonight in the chapter, Grab 'em by the Pussy, and then after that, the Katie Johnson chapter, which I'll have done on New Year's Day is my deadline for that. And then I moved more stuff to get done in January because I want to buffer. Like, I think I can get through the next couple chapters pretty easily without a lot of work, so I'm just going to try and get done 5 whole chapters, 6 if we count this. No, because the Katie Johnson, I'm going to try and get that done by New Year's Eve, but I'm going to try and do 5 whole chapters covering the chapter on the death of Virginia Giuffre, a chapter where I talk about sort of the psychological reasons people believe conspiracy theories, and then the 3 chapters where I discuss Jeffrey Epstein's death. And then in February, I'll do the chapters where I cover the aftermath and the stuff that happened in 2025. And then in March, I'll just do here's a few things I missed. Nothing big. Hopefully, there is one big thing I missed that I'll have to talk about. But I think it's a good sign that. I mean, obviously, a lot of the information we've got was heavily redacted, but there's been little that we've seen that has been unexpected to me, which is a good sign. Like, it's a good sign when I'm working on something and we get more information on it and it just confirms what I already suspected. And obviously, a lot of people think like that, and that makes them vulnerable to just confirmation bias. But like in this last chapter that I'm editing right now, I talk about Michael Wolff a bit, who's a journalist who writes a lot about Trump. He was very close friends with Jeffrey Epstein, interviewed Epstein for like 100 hours, and I'm like, I don't like Michael Wolff very much. He rubs me the wrong way, what with his like, oh, Jeffrey Epstein showed me photos of Trump with girls, young girls. He showed me photos of Trump with young girls 9 years ago, and I apparently didn't feel like telling anyone until 9 years later. Mention it before Trump gets elected. Why would I do that? Why would a journalist report on things? Like, that guy's always rubbed me the wrong way. And like in the we've gotten a bit of documents and stuff, we find out, oh, cool. Turns out it was acting as an advisor to Epstein, and in 2015 was giving Epstein advice on how to blackmail Trump. I knew I was right to be kind of sus of this guy, because what the fuck? That's horrible. You goddamn asshole. I hate Michael Wolff, which is why he gets like 10 minutes where I just rant about him in this video, and I've got to finish editing that tonight. And thank you. I hate these little grind rails with the holes in them, keep falling off them, but I think we might have like 1 or 2 trainers, but we're almost to the next town. You backpacker, die. Yeah, just going to Vine Whip, and I need another Pokemon, because it's no fun when I'm just steamrolling with my starter, but my Charmander died horribly. It died horribly, that Charmander. I don't even remember where you get, yeah, shorts are comfy to wear, easy to wear. I don't even remember where you get cut in this game, but I don't have it yet. Like, I could use a Gulpin. Gulpin's pretty good. I've had good use with Swalot and Nuzlocke in the past. It's a really solid Pokemon for a Nuzlocke. It's bulky, it can do a decent amount of damage with Stab Sludge Bomb. Don't fucking call me. Fuck you. Oh, and it's just... that is... See, Pokemon is realistic, because it includes something super realistic, and that is, playing... is like when you just get a text on your phone advertising that you will get advertisements. Like, that's what just happened, and that's realistic. So anyway, a couple of days ago, I decided to watch a movie, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and I didn't expect it to be good, because the first one wasn't very good. It was passable, but it wasn't great. And video game movies in general have a bad tendency to be bad. But I watched Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and holy shit, what a fucking dog shit movie. That was garbage. I like talk to my friends, oh, I had that movie, and they're like, oh, you just don't have enough whimsy. You would like it if you had whimsy. You don't have enough whimsy. And then later they talk about how, like, I fucking hated The Rise of Skywalker. Well, you need to have whimsy in your heart. And to be clear, I think that movie sucks, but like hey, you shouldn't talk shit about bad movies. You shouldn't talk shit about bad movies. You should be nice. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is worse than any of the Star Wars sequel. Don't you fucking call me dumb cunt. I'm gonna smash your skull in, Shauna. But yeah, I despised. It is interesting how common Mega Evolution became in the decade between games. But like, I despised Five Nights at Freddy's 2. That's one of the worst goddamn adaptations I've ever seen. It was terrible. It was like a 5 out of 10 film. And it continues the first movie's problems and its triumphs, some of them. Like, the thing that was good in the first movie was, hey, you've got like the one thing. I'm stumbling over my words. The good thing about the first movie is that there was very good puppetry, and like, I mean, the video game monsters look good. The FNAF animatronics look just like they do in the games. There was great special effects from Jim Henson's shop in that movie. Unfortunately, the first movie, it wasn't scary. It wasn't scary. And the story, I actually didn't mind the story. The story was fine, okay? It wasn't excellent or anything, but I did think they did very good in the first movie of sort of condensing and removing extraneous details of Mike's character arc to make him into a character that works good without all the overcomplicated lore and that shit. Like, I enjoyed how Mike was portrayed in the first movie, where they take, like, Vanessa, they combined her, like, in the game, she's, like, brainwashed while she's a video game tester by an AI that thinks it's the ghost of Afton into being Afton's minion and helping him set up his vague plan and security breach. No, they adapt that as just, oh, she's his daughter and assisted him, which was part of Mike's backstory from the games, but the other part of Mike's story from the games is that he accidentally killed his younger brother and feels guilt about it, and that drives him to be manipulated by his father into going along with William's plans and doing horrible things. And eventually, after he gets disemboweled by his sister, he's like, actually, Dad's a dick, I'm gonna murder him. And he does. And you know, that's a decent arc. It's very, the story's kind of shallow, but I like Mike in the games, and they remove, because they gave it to Vanessa, they remove the he's the bad guy's son traits from Michael, just make him like an outsider, but they give him this really strong relationship with his sister, and they keep in that he blames himself for his younger brother's death, and that drives him to make mistakes. That's the core of the character, and they got it. They adapted Michael in a way that isn't completely accurate to the plot and lore of the games, but is an interesting and good character. So anyway, in this one, they decide to introduce the second Michael. Like, this is the other Mike, because the one in the first one, like, he was very different from how he is in the games, and that was good. The games were good by having Mike be different, or the movie was good by having Mike be different. And I do, side note, I like they like do the like Asian tourist and like give them Kanto Pokemon in this game, like the Asian tourist stereotype, and I like that they have Kanto Pokemon. Although there's complicated stuff about like language and names in the Pokemon, in that like there weren't Japanese names for Japanese people in the Pokemon games that take place in Japan but were dubbed in English. But anyway, so they changed Mike, and I think the character's better for having being changed. And then they decide, well, let's introduce a game-accurate Mike. Let's introduce a new Mike. So there's two Mikes. We got Mike and we got Mike. We got Mike and Michael. They're different characters because I guess just have two characters named Mike. And I mean, the games do that with their 50 fucking Jeremys. There's too many Jeremys in the games. Like, whatever. But like, yeah, let's introduce another Mike who's just like the evil bad guy son of William from the game. But he doesn't have the depth of, he doesn't have like the character depth of, oh, he's doing evil because he's haunted by his guilt and isn't thinking straight. Now he's just evil because he's evil. And like, hey, I know we had Mike in the last one, but we've decided to introduce a second Mike that lacks all of the depth and interesting aspects of his characters in the game. Oh, cool. So introducing a second shittier Mike, that's great. That was my main complaint of the first movie, that there wasn't a second shittier Mike. And can we talk about how shitty this second Mike is? This guy who thinks he's the fucking Joker and has the purple suit. And I mean, I know that's like in the games, but yeah, he's just like, ooh, I'm like evil. And like, I'm gonna continue my father's legacy. Let's talk about what this fucking loser does in this movie. He's like, my evil plan to continue my father's evil legacy is that I am going to unlock the door to this haunted old building so some TV guys can get murdered. And I'm going to host a fun community event. And then at the end, I'm going to pop up at the other Mike's house and say, it was me! I was behind everything, even though I wasn't. Like, you can't do the bad guy pops up and says, it was me, I was behind everything, if you don't have him actually do anything in the movie. What was he responsible? He wasn't behind anything. He opened the door to like the building, cool. They could have just been like fucking breaking in to film their show and the movie would have been identical. Like, oh, he's the one who's hosting the Five Nights at Freddy's festival. Well, that's boring. Like, what's even the point of that? Because we've already established that in the movies, like in real life and in the games, like, kids like fucking love those Freddy's murders. Like, real people died in this town a couple years ago, and the kids are just having a fucking party about it. Kids love Five Nights at Freddy's in all universes, it seems. But like, okay, cool. So the bad guy's plan is step one, let some teenagers, or let some, actually they're probably 20 something, let a ghost hunting show go into the old restaurant and film something. That's step one. Step two is host a community costume contest where you dress like Five Nights at Freddy's. And step three is wait for someone else that you don't control to have an independent evil scheme that's only tangentially related to yours that you know nothing about. And then step four, pop out at the house and say, it was me, I was behind it. No, you weren't. You're such a goddamn loser, Michael. He just gets, like, punched in the face by Jeremiah and knocked out, which is what he gets. Like, I want to see this guy in another movie. He was such a shitty villain. And there's double battles, so I definitely need a good team member here. A good team member. I will take it. I will take the Esper. And by the way, I've decided against using a zoomer reel because I found out that, it's, fucking, what is it? How about luxury ball? Like, if this luxury ball works, I'm going to be nice to this Pokemon. If it doesn't, I'm going to be mean to it. But anyway, as a rule, turns out it got thick fat, so I'm not going to use it. Oh, yes, we have a awesome Pokemon named Pac-Man. I'll pull up the comment in a minute, because I'm still ranting about Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, yeah, Michael sucked, and he's like the most obviously sucky part, but I mean, going on to that, this movie, it continued the it wasn't scary at all aspect from the games, and it's a lot of, like, I think video game movie fans are fucking, they're like children. They're like ridiculous, like, well, it wasn't a good movie, but it had all the fan service and references to the games. Like, remember, there's a 20-second scene where Baby shows up, even though she doesn't exist, or really exist in this universe, and doesn't have any of the interesting stuff. Like, Circus Baby in the games is a complex character, because she's possessed and becoming aware of her humanity while still being a killer robot and, like, deceiving and manipulating Mike. I like Baby as a character in the games, but actually her just being an unpossessed robot that shows up for 20 seconds in a nightmare, that's the same as being an actual character, right? See, it's good because it's got the fan service, and they play Five Nights at Freddy's 2 at one point, complete with the mask, which, God, that is so much more stupid when it's not in a video game. It was kind of dumb in the game, but, like, just doing it, like, why isn't my super speed going? There we go. Like, in live action, the, like, mask thing didn't fucking work. Like, and, like, I talked earlier, like, admittedly, yes, we have great props, everything looks good. All of the fun time and withered animatronics look good, but that's kind of hampered by the fact that the withered animatronics don't really do anything. Like, they're just kind of random prototypes. They're sitting in the office and, like, attack Mike for, like, 2 minutes total screen time. Like, oh, it's cool that you got the thing from the games, but it's not that really interesting. But, okay, fine, cool, you got the characters from the games in it for a second, and the fun times were fine. It was a surprisingly high amount of Chica, but okay, cool, you got the fun times, and they get, like, 1 kill or attempted kill each. They kill Newman from Seinfeld. He's in the movie and he dies. Honestly, he's pretty good in the movie as just being, like, a repugnant, annoying asshole. Fucking Newman as a teacher, but neat. Oh, isn't this where we have to, like, look for your Pokemon in the maze? I hate this minigame. Like, okay, cool, don't call me dumb cunt, fuck you. Like, yeah, cool. We get like one kill each for the fun times, and I guess that's fine. But okay, who cares really? Like the wizards don't do it. Okay, I'm just like rambling. Like my big problem, the reason this is a shitty movie, I is because I cannot stand how this movie portrays Charlotte slash the marionette, who is a very interesting, and I like the puppet from the games as a character. I think Charlotte's a great tragic villain. But if you make her a generic sort of like I'm gonna kill everyone villain, she isn't sympathetic or anymore. Now she's just like I'm going to murder all adults because like they ignored me as I was being killed in that shitty opening scene where. Oh, by the way, can we talk about like so like FNAF Five Nights at Freddy's 2? You're like the reason it was so influential and so like popular is that you're like figuring out the story as you're playing it. You're figuring out what's the deal with this fucking puppet, and it comes to you piecemeal. And admittedly, it's not hard to figure it out, but it isn't spelled out from the beginning. But the movie starts with saying, "Wow, this girl was murdered and then cradled by the puppet." Ooh, that's probably foreshadowing. And then Michael's just like, "Oh, by the way, Charlotte is possessing the puppet. Is that's what's going on in this movie? Is that is Charlotte and she is possessed?" And okay, cool. So just like fucking give it away. Don't have any mystery. Just like explain it. And like later, like Vanessa's just like, "Oh, by the way, I've talked to this ghost a bunch and I know how she works." And like the frustrating thing is I love how they do the like design of the animatronics and shit in this game or in the movie series. Like they look just like they do in the games, and the puppet is no exception. The puppet looked excellent in the movie. Which is why it is so disappointing that the puppet doesn't really appear in the movie as the puppet. Like instead of instead of it being like the fucking puppet, like she just like magically possesses people, and that makes them wear puppet makeup. Okay, cool. Like that's so lame that you have this like cool animatronic that's like crawling around and like so well designed, but actually all the kills are just like a random white lady with like clown makeup on, and that's so fucking boring. It's not interesting. Yes, I've got the mini game, Sean. I don't need your stuff. Like oh cool, she's possessing them, and like so that's it's just people wearing makeup instead of being the robot monster, and that's lame. That's so lame, you know? At least you don't have to do this maze a few times. Like, you ruined the puppet. You made a movie with villain, a really good villain from the games, and you ruined it. You made her unsympathetic, and she doesn't even kill herself people as the scary robot. She kills them as being this random, like, possessed corpse of a ghost show person. And now we get the really gay fireworks scene. And like, what's even more ridiculous is like a thing that the games get away with is like the sort of limited sentience of the animatronics. They're like animals, to quote Ultimate Custom Night. And admittedly, Charlotte's one of the smarter ones, but like the problem is when you make the animatronics too smart, then they stop being like these tragic people who don't know what they're doing, and they just become, oh, that's where you get cut, and they just become like generic monsters. And if they're generic monsters killing people, they're unsympathetic. Like Charlotte has all these full articulate Charlotte isn't like this creepy thing that pops up and kills you if you don't mind the music box. Charlotte is like giving a monologue. I hate adults, so I'm gonna kill all the adults. Like, okay, but that sucks. That's worse. And like, anyway, because they're sentient and like intelligent, then like the stuff that works in the games doesn't make much sense to also happen in the movies. Like in the game, like okay, the puppet's this robot that's possessed and influenced by the anger of a murdered child. Sweet. And because of that, the puppet can be soothed by this music box of like what the spirit liked as a kid. Like you can keep the puppet calm by reminding that it's a child. Okay, that's cool. But in this, Charlotte is like intelligent and sentient and isn't just like a rage ghost. So like how this like ends, how it ends is like this puppet, this music box will keep her calm. And in the middle of in the middle of the puppet killing someone, pull out the music box, and she's like, "No, my one weakness, music box. No, don't play this music box for me. Hope we get to be great friends." Yeah, Shauna. Yeah, I insult you just as good as you insult me. Then, secret of friendship, play the fireworks to celebrate that someone's dog was in their backyard. Oh, where's the dog? Did you check the backyard? That's that's not really lost then, is it? It's like your dog is where your dog should be. Um, but anyway, it's like, no, the music box, my one weakness, and then Ghost disappears. What? What? No, it's not like fucking kryptonite. It's supposed to like remind the puppet of that it used to be a child and like calm it down. Like the idea that the music box is like this, it's like holding a crucifix to a vampire and the vampire like screeching. That's so dumb. That's so dumb. Give me the fucking pokey flute so I can wake up to Snorlax. Like, it's so dumb how they defeat. And also, I don't like Mike in this, where he's like, he doesn't really have as good of an arc. He had a good arc in the first one. That was guilt over Garrett and his relationship with Abby. But in this one, like, that's lost, and he doesn't really have as much to do, but he's like, oh, he's really mad at Vanessa because he learned. Thank you for giving the two children protection after they have the romantic scene, you creepy ass butler. What am I gonna do with these fucking condoms? We're both girls. But uh, I'm thinking. Hold on, I've lost my train of thought. I've just rambled about how I hate this movie so much, and it's just a dog shit movie. What was I going to say? I got distracted by the condoms. That's the title. Distracted by the condoms. I'm lost in this house. Oh, Mike. Mike hates Vanessa because he learned that Vanessa used to help with her father's crimes. You already knew that, Mike. Like, I learned that you used to help out your father's evil. Yeah, you knew that, Mike. You learned that in the first movie. Oh, she used to help out William? How'd you figure that out? Did you figure that out based on the fact that she helped out William in the last movie? Wow, the person who worked for William in the last movie used to work for William? You figured out that she used to work with William? How did you figure out such a stunning secret, Mike, from talking to Henry, played by Skeet Ulrich, who's like barely in the fucking movie and is such a pointless character to the actual plot of the movie? Like, I know he's major in the games, but they don't do anything about the fact that his daughter is the main antagonist. Like, maybe the third one will be good. It'll be nice to have Matthew Lillard back for more than a scene. It'll be nice to see him just go full, like, Springtrap killer. That'll be great. He was the best part of the first movie. But oh wow, Mike, you learned that Vanessa used to work for the guy she worked for in the first movie, where you knew that. Bravo! I'm catching this fucking Snorlax because I need a good Pokemon. And this is a comment on my Batman video, which, by the way, I originally messed up releasing that video. I originally released it with fucked up audio where it was missing in one channel, which I didn't know that DaVinci Resolve did that. That's a cool thing that happened. Anyway, Pac-Man, who I've definitely named Pokemon after in the past, says, I'm pleased of his sanity. I'm actually convinced Batman comics do have an over-application of it, and I think that's one of the best representations of judicial corruption if it were intentional. It's not intentional. Basically, declaring supervillains to be insane is a great excuse to throw them into prison with infinite sentences, no possibility of parole, and no need for additional trials if they escape, since you turn the question from whether they're guilty to whether they're insane, and then use the fact that they're wearing a costume as proof of insanity. This allows for a neat sidestep around Batman evidence not being legally obtained because the court is blatantly corrupt. Yeah, that's definitely not intentional, but that could be interesting if someone did something with that. I actually think it would be a really interesting topic to bring Batman into contact with the realities of corruption and criminal justice, where the corruption often favors Batman more than hurting him by allowing him to return villains directly to their cells by having the police share evidence directly with a billionaire is in a bat costume and not interrogating his processes, rather than the Hollywood idea of corruption, which is positioned on this weird idea that the courts are somehow too nice to criminals because they sometimes respect human rights with their rights to trial. Yeah, I agree with all that. It would be interesting. This is definitely not intentional. But it is interesting. Like, well, maybe it's sort of intentional in universe. They do the insanity because that's less standard of proof. Not really in real life, less standard of proof, but that's, well, I mean, it's less standard of proof to get someone. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, they do the insanity pleas because that allows them to get away with Batman evidence. That's definitely not something I've ever seen, but that's a really interesting idea. And yeah, it would be interesting if Batman's had anything to say about police corruption. No, it's like police corruption in that they take bribes from the mob, which is like the 1930s idea of police corruption. But it's not police corruption in the they turn a body camera off before shooting someone, or they lie under oath to secure a conviction. It's like the big problem with police corruption in real life is the police are corrupt because it's their jobs to be corrupt. It's their jobs to get convictions, and it's easier to get convictions if, you lie on the stand. Like, it's a big problem in real life with cops lying on the stand or pretending other people said things that they didn't say, or like presenting less than stellar evidence is more ironclad than it is. That's corruption. That's definitely corruption. That's a bad thing, but you don't really see that in, say, Batman, or really any stuff about oh no, these criminals in this noir story, these cops in this noir story are corrupt, in that they I'm rambling. This one's been going on for too long. I'm just going to catch the Snorlax. I'm just repeating what Pac-Man said. But yeah, I'm going to catch the Snorlax, and then I'm going to finish editing my current chapter on Epstein, and then I'm going to finish writing my Homestuck video, and then I'm going to try and get my whole Homestuck video done in January. I don't know if it'll be possible, but that's 5 minutes a day, which is what I was doing on the Dark Knight video in November and December. And it's very easy to edit Homestuck videos in my experience. Oh no, if you get killed by... I chose Leech Seed because Leech Seed is a consistent, predictable... I'm not going to get crit with Leech Seed and then have it dead. And I figured I'd have caught it by now with all the Leech Seed damage. So can you please get in the ball? God damn you, motherfucker. Okay. Come on, I've already picked out the next comment I'm going to read. I just need you to get... You're almost going to die. It's either death or get in the ball and join my team, Snorlax, okay? Let me catch this Pokemon from the Gen 1 Slop video, okay? There's so much Gen 1 Slop. Hey, remember that game? Remember Gen 1? You hated Black and White. But, yeah, we got all the stuff from Gen 1. You're gonna be named Stop It, which, yeah, that's fitting, considering that. Stop It says, and this is on my Christmas update, where I just gave a brief overview on my upcoming projects, and I said that I'd given hints at the Jake English, or as what my next Homestuck video would be, by and read out, and Stop It thinks that they've got the answer. Going off the names listed at the end of the Jake English video, my guess is that the next video will be about all of the blue Team Durst Trolls, aka the half that gets neglected by the plot. That will explain the 90-minute runtime for vid that only covers the OG comment, and it would make sense to break it up into chunks. I'm hoping I'm right, because I'd love to see Aradia, Solix, and Aridin be talked about, and that is, that's an interesting theory, dude. That's pretty interesting. Next time I gotta go do all those trainers at the palace, by the way.